Could Lucas Beraldo be Chelsea's next defensive gem? Picture this, it's a cold Tuesday night at Stamford Bridge. The crowd is buzzing with excitement as Chelsea's new signing steps onto the pitch for the first time in a blue shirt. The player adjusts his boots, takes a deep breath, and prepares to show why Chelsea fought hard to bring him to West London. This could very well be the story of Lucas Beraldo in the coming months. For those who've been following Chelsea's transfer movements closely, the name Lucas Beraldo has been making waves recently. The PSG defender has caught the attention of our beloved Blues, and according to reliable sources, talks are already underway. But who exactly is this young Brazilian, and could he be the defensive solution Chelsea has been searching for? Who is Lucas Beraldo? Lucas Beraldo is not just another name on Chelsea's transfer wishlist. At just 20 years old, this left-footed centre-back has already made quite an impression in European football. Currently playing for Paris Saint-Germain, Beraldo represents the modern breed of defenders that top clubs are desperately seeking. What makes him special? Well, imagine a defender who can read the game like Thiago Silva but has the pace to recover when things go wrong. That's essentially what Beraldo brings to the table. He's comfortable playing either in a traditional back four or as part of a three-man defense, giving any manager plenty of tactical flexibility. The Brazilian stands out for his ability to play out from the back. In today's football, having a centre-back who can pass the ball and start attacks is crucial. Beraldo doesn't just hoof the ball forward when under pressure. Instead, he keeps his cool and finds the right pass to help his team maintain possession. What's his playing style? If you've watched Chelsea struggle with building play from the back in recent seasons, you'll understand why Beraldo's skill set is so appealing. He's what coaches call a ball-playing defender. This means he's just as comfortable with the ball at his feet as he is making tackles and winning headers. Beraldo likes to step out and engage with attackers rather than just sitting back and waiting for them to come to him. This front-footed approach to defending can be risky, but when done right, it helps teams win the ball back higher up the pitch and start counterattacks quickly. His physical attributes are impressive too. Standing tall and strong, he wins most of his aerial duels, which would be perfect for dealing with the physical nature of Premier League football. But don't think he's just a big, slow defender. Beraldo has decent pace and can make those crucial recovery runs when the team is caught out of position. One thing that really stands out about his game is his versatility. While he's primarily a centre-back, Beraldo has experience playing as a left-back when needed. This adaptability would be gold for Chelsea, especially considering how injuries and suspensions can disrupt team selection throughout a long season. Why are Chelsea interested now? The question many Chelsea fans are asking is simple: why Beraldo and why now? What has suddenly made this move so urgent for our recruitment team? The answer lies in a frustrating injury situation that has hit Chelsea at the worst possible time. Levi Colwill, our promising young defender, suffered an unexpected injury during pre-season training that has thrown Chelsea's defensive plans into chaos. Manager Enzo Maresca confirmed that the knock was significant enough to require a scan, and the results have clearly worried the coaching staff. This injury has created an immediate problem for Chelsea. Colwill was expected to be a key part of our defensive setup for the coming season. His absence means we're suddenly short of options at centre-back, especially left-footed defenders who can play out from the back effectively. Enter Lucas Beraldo. What was perhaps a long-term target has now become an urgent necessity. Chelsea need defensive cover, and they need it fast. Beraldo fits the profile perfectly. He's left-footed like Colwill, comfortable on the ball, and ready to step in immediately if needed. The timing couldn't be more critical. With the new season approaching fast, Chelsea can't afford to go into their opening fixtures with a thin defensive squad. Maresca has already hinted that the club might need to sign a new defender this summer because of Colwill's situation, and Beraldo appears to be their top choice to fill this gap. The Colwill situation creates urgency. The Levi Colwill injury has completely changed the timeline for Chelsea's defensive recruitment. What might have been a careful, long-term pursuit of Beraldo has now become a race against time to secure defensive cover before the season starts. Colwill's injury during pre-season training wasn't just a minor knock. The fact that it required medical scans and has left Maresca concerned about his availability tells us this is a serious issue. For a young defender who was expected to be a mainstay in Chelsea's backline, this timing couldn't be worse. This creates a domino effect throughout Chelsea's defensive planning. Without Colwill available, the squad suddenly looks thin at centre-back, particularly when it comes to left-footed options. Beraldo represents the perfect solution, a like-for-like replacement who can step straight into the role Colwill was meant to fill. The urgency is real because Chelsea can't afford to start the season defensively weakened. Every point matters in the Premier League, and going into early fixtures without proper cover could cost us dearly later in the campaign. This is why the Beraldo move has shifted from nice to have to absolutely essential. What's the current situation? The Colwill injury has completely transformed the urgency around Chelsea's pursuit of Lucas Beraldo. What was once a strategic long-term target has now become a pressing necessity as the new season approaches. According to recent reports, Chelsea's interest in Beraldo isn't new. The club has been tracking him since before the Club World Cup. But Colwill's unexpected injury has pushed this transfer to the top of the priority list. The club can no longer afford to take their time with negotiations. The good news is that preliminary talks have already been initiated with the players' camp. This head start could prove crucial now that time is of the essence. Having already laid the groundwork means Chelsea can potentially accelerate the process without starting from scratch. However, the challenge now is convincing PSG to sell quickly. The French club knows about Colwill's injury situation and understands that Chelsea are in a difficult position. This could drive up the asking price as PSG realizes they hold most of the cards in negotiations. The pressure is mounting because every day that passes without a resolution brings us closer to the season start. Chelsea need defensive cover, and they need it soon. Beraldo remains the top target, but the club may need to consider alternatives if PSG prove too difficult to negotiate with. There's also the competition from Liverpool to consider, though Chelsea's urgent need might actually work in their favor here. While Liverpool can afford to wait and see, Chelsea need to act fast, which could convince Beraldo that he'll get more immediate playing time at Stamford Bridge. The competition factor. The fact that Liverpool are also in the mix adds an extra layer of complexity to this potential transfer. It's never easy when you're competing with another top Premier League club for a player's signature. But Chelsea shouldn't be too worried about this competition. We have plenty to offer that Liverpool might not. For starters, there could be more immediate playing opportunities at Chelsea. Our defensive setup is still evolving, and there might be more chances for a young defender to establish himself quickly. Chelsea's track record with developing young defenders is also worth considering. We've shown time and again that we're willing to give opportunities to promising players who show the right attitude and ability. The London factor shouldn't be underestimated either. Many players prefer living in London over other English cities, and this could work in our favor when it comes to convincing Beraldo to choose Chelsea over Liverpool. The perfect replacement profile. What makes Beraldo such an ideal replacement for the injured Colwill? The similarities between the two players are striking, which explains why Chelsea see him as the perfect solution to their current defensive crisis. Both players are left-footed centre-backs who excel at playing out from the back. This is crucial because losing Colwill meant losing not just a defender, but a key player in Chelsea's build-up play. Beraldo offers the same technical skills that make him comfortable receiving the ball under pressure and finding the right pass to start attacks. The age factor works perfectly too. At 20, Beraldo is only 2 years younger than Colwill, meaning he's at a similar stage of development. This isn't about finding a veteran to plug a gap, it's about finding a long-term replacement who can grow with the squad just as Colwill was meant to. Their physical profiles are also comparable. Both players have the pace needed to recover when caught out of position, and both are strong in aerial duels. This means Beraldo could slot into the same tactical role without requiring major adjustments to Chelsea's defensive system. Perhaps most importantly, both players share that modern defender mentality. They're comfortable stepping out of defense to engage attackers and aren't afraid to carry the ball forward when the opportunity arises. This front-footed approach to defending is exactly what Maresca wants from his centre-backs. The financial aspect. Let's talk about something that every football fan has to consider these days: money. Transfer fees have gone through the roof in recent years, and PSG are unlikely to let Beraldo go for peanuts. However, from Chelsea's perspective, investing in a 20-year-old defender makes financial sense. If he develops as expected, his value could double or triple within a few years. It's not just about what he can do for the team now, it's about building an asset that could be worth significantly more in the future. The wages are likely to be reasonable too. As a young player still establishing himself, Beraldo won't be demanding the kind of salary that established superstars command. This gives Chelsea more flexibility in their overall wage structure. There's also the resale value to consider. Even if things don't work out perfectly, a young, talented defender with Premier League experience would always have a market. It's a much safer investment than signing an older player who might have little or no resale value. Potential challenges. Of course, no transfer is without its risks and challenges. What potential problems could Chelsea face if they decide to pursue Beraldo seriously? The biggest challenge is probably convincing PSG to sell. The French giants have invested in Beraldo's development and won't want to let him go unless the price is right. This could mean a bidding war that drives up the transfer fee significantly. There's also the adaptation period to consider. Moving from French football to the Premier League is a big step, and not every player handles it smoothly. The pace and physical nature of English football can be overwhelming for some defenders, especially younger ones. The competition for places at Chelsea could be another factor. If Beraldo comes expecting to walk straight into the first team, he might be disappointed. He would need to earn his place through training performances and limited opportunities initially. Language and cultural barriers shouldn't be ignored either. While many modern footballers are comfortable with multiple languages, settling into a new country and culture takes time and support. How would he fit into current squad? One of the most interesting questions for Chelsea fans is how Beraldo would fit alongside our current defenders. The good news is that his skill set seems to complement what we already have quite well. His left-footed nature would provide balance to the defensive line. Having natural left-footers in defense helps with passing angles and makes the team less predictable in their build-up play. This could be particularly useful when playing out from the back under pressure. The age factor works well too. At 20, he would be learning from more experienced defenders while also bringing fresh energy and ideas to the group. This kind of blend of youth and experience often produces the best results. His versatility means he wouldn't just be competing for one position. If needed, he could slot in at left-back or play in a three-man defense. This flexibility makes him more valuable to the squad overall. The playing style compatibility is perhaps most important. Beraldo's comfort on the ball and ability to start attacks fits perfectly with how Chelsea want to play. He wouldn't need to completely change his game to succeed at Stamford Bridge. What do the experts say? Football analysts and scouts who have watched Beraldo regularly are generally positive about his potential. His performances for PSG have caught the eye of many observers who believe he has all the tools needed to succeed at the highest level. His technical ability is consistently praised. In an era where defenders need to be comfortable in possession, Beraldo stands out for his passing range and decision-making under pressure. These are skills that typically improve with experience, suggesting he could become even better over time. The physical attributes get positive reviews too. While he's not the biggest defender around, he uses his height and strength effectively. His timing in the air is particularly impressive for someone so young. Perhaps most encouragingly, experts praise his attitude and professionalism. These intangible qualities often determine whether a talented young player fulfills their potential or falls by the wayside. The broader context. It's worth stepping back and looking at this potential signing in the broader context of Chelsea's transfer strategy. The club seems to be focusing on young, talented players with high potential rather than established superstars. This approach makes sense for several reasons. Younger players are generally more adaptable and can be molded to fit the team's playing style. They also tend to have higher resale values and longer potential careers ahead of them. Beraldo fits perfectly into this strategy. He's young enough to develop further but experienced enough to contribute immediately. This balance is exactly what Chelsea seem to be looking for in the transfer market. The focus on defenders also makes sense given some of the uncertainty around the position. Having depth and options in defense is crucial for a team competing on multiple fronts throughout the season. Fan expectations. Chelsea fans are known for being passionate and demanding, but they're also realistic about what new signings can achieve immediately. With Beraldo, the expectations would likely be measured rather than sky-high. Most fans would probably be happy to see him integrated gradually, getting opportunities in cup games and as a substitute before potentially earning a regular starting spot. This patient approach often works best with young defenders who need time to adapt to new systems and teammates. The excitement level would depend partly on how the signing is positioned. If is presented as a future star rather than an immediate fix, fans are more likely to be patient with his development. There's also the fact that defensive signings often take longer to make an impact than attacking ones. Fans generally understand this and are willing to give defenders more time to settle in and show their worth. Looking ahead. So what happens next in the Lucas Beraldo saga? Much will depend on Chelsea's willingness to match PSG's asking price and convince the player that Stamford Bridge is the right place for his development. The competition from Liverpool adds urgency to the situation. If Chelsea really want Beraldo, they may need to move quickly to avoid losing out to their Premier League rivals. The next few weeks could be crucial. Transfer windows have a momentum of their own, and sometimes deals that seem unlikely suddenly come together very quickly. For Chelsea fans, it's a case of waiting and hoping. The club's track record in recent transfer windows has been generally positive, suggesting they know what they are doing when it comes to identifying and securing talented young players. final thoughts. The potential signing of Lucas Beraldo represents exactly the kind of smart, forward-thinking transfer that modern football demands. Here's a young, talented defender with the technical skills and physical attributes needed to succeed in the Premier League. While there are no guarantees in football transfers, everything we know about Beraldo suggests he could be an excellent addition to the Chelsea squad. His youth, versatility, and playing style all point to a player who could grow with the club and become a key figure in future success. The question now is whether Chelsea can make it happen. Can they convince PSG to sell? Can they persuade Beraldo to choose Stamford Bridge over Anfield? Can they structure a deal that makes financial sense for all parties? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain: Lucas Beraldo is a name that Chelsea fans should keep a close eye on. He might just be the next big thing to grace the hallowed turf at Stamford Bridge. And wouldn't that be something special to witness? What do you think, fellow Blues? Is Beraldo the defender we need, or should we be looking elsewhere? The summer transfer window always brings hope and excitement, and this potential signing has all the ingredients to get fans dreaming about what could be. Here's to hoping that the next time we see Beraldo celebrating with a trophy, it's while wearing the famous Chelsea blue. The cruel twist of fate: Levi Colwill's ACL injury rocks Stamford Bridge. Picture this. You're a young defender who has just proven yourself worthy of wearing the famous blue shirt. You've made it through the tough times and shown everyone what you can do. The fans love you. The manager trusts you. Everything seems perfect as you head back to training after a well-deserved break. Then in one split second, everything changes. This is exactly what happened to Levi Colwill just days ago. Our promising young defender suffered a serious ACL injury during his first training session back at Cobham. The news hit the Chelsea community like a punch to the gut. But what does this really mean for Levi, for the team, and for us as fans? What actually happened to Levi? Let's start with the facts. Levi Colwill was back at Chelsea's training ground in Cobham, ready to start preparing for the new season. It was supposed to be a routine training session. Nothing special. Just getting back into the rhythm of things after some time off. But football can be cruel sometimes. During that first session back, Levi suffered what doctors call an anterior cruciate ligament injury. Most of us know it better as an ACL injury. This happened to his knee, and anyone who follows football knows this is one of the worst injuries a player can get. The timing could not have been worse. Here's a player who has worked so hard to establish himself at Chelsea. He's shown real promise as a defender. The fans were excited to see more of him this season. Then this happens right at the start of training. Within 24 hours of the injury, Levi was in London having surgery. The medical team worked quickly to repair the damage. The surgery went well, which is good news. But now comes the hard part, the long road to recovery. Why ACL injuries are so serious. You might be wondering why everyone is making such a big deal about this injury. Why can't Levi just rest for a few weeks and come back? The truth is, ACL injuries are among the most serious injuries in football. The ACL is like a strong rope inside your knee. It connects your thigh bone to your shin bone and helps keep your knee stable when you move. When this gets torn or damaged, your knee becomes very unstable. You can't run properly, change direction quickly, or do the things a football player needs to do. What makes it worse is that the ACL doesn't heal on its own. That's why Levi needed surgery right away. The doctors had to either repair the damaged ligament or replace it with tissue from another part of his body. This is a complex operation that requires real skill. But here's the thing that really hurts: the recovery time. Most players with ACL injuries are out for 6 to 9 months. Some take even longer. This means Levi will miss most of the upcoming season. Think about that for a moment. A whole season where we won't see him play for Chelsea. The mental side of long-term injuries. People often talk about the physical side of injuries, but what about the mental side? Imagine being Levi right now. You're a young player with your whole career ahead of you. You've just earned your place in one of the biggest clubs in the world. Then suddenly you're told you can't play for almost a year. That has to mess with your head, doesn't it? The doubt starts creeping in. Will I be the same player when I come back? Will the manager still want me? Will the fans remember me? These are real questions that injured players face every day. Levi will spend months watching his teammates train while he works with the physios. He'll watch games from the sidelines instead of playing in them. He'll see other defenders getting chances that could have been his. That's tough for anyone to handle. The good news is that Chelsea has excellent support systems for injured players. The medical team at Cobham is world-class. They've helped many players come back from serious injuries before. Levi won't be alone in this journey. What this means for Chelsea's season. Now let's talk about what this means for the team. Losing any first-team player is bad news, but losing a defender like Levi creates real problems for the manager. Levi had become an important part of Chelsea's defense. He's young, fast, and good with the ball at his feet. He can play as a centre-back or left-back, which gives the manager options. Now that flexibility is gone, the manager will need to look at other options. Maybe some of the younger players will get a chance to step up. Perhaps the club will need to look at signing another defender before the transfer window closes. These are decisions that need to be made quickly. But here's something to think about: every cloud has a silver lining. This injury might give other young defenders at Chelsea a chance to prove themselves. It might bring the team closer together as they rally around their injured teammate. Sometimes adversity can make a team stronger. The road to recovery: what happens next? So what happens now for Levi? The surgery is done, which is the first step. Now comes the long process of getting back to full fitness. This isn't just about healing the knee, it's about rebuilding everything. The first few weeks will be about letting the knee heal from surgery. Levi will be on crutches and won't be able to do much. This is probably the hardest part because you feel helpless. You can't train, you can't run, you can barely walk properly. After that, the real work begins. Physiotherapy sessions every day. Slowly building up the strength in the knee. Learning to walk normally again. Then jogging. Then running. Each step takes time and patience. The psychological support is just as important as the physical therapy. Chelsea will make sure Levi has someone to talk to about his feelings and concerns. They'll keep him involved with the team as much as possible so he doesn't feel forgotten. Most players say the hardest part isn't the pain or the exercises, it's the boredom and frustration. Months of doing the same rehab exercises while watching your teammates play the game you love. That tests anyone's character. Learning from other players' experiences. Levi isn't the first Chelsea player to face this challenge, and he won't be the last. Many great players have come back from ACL injuries to have successful careers. Think about players like Virgil van Dijk at Liverpool or Zlatan Ibrahimovic. They both had serious ACL injuries but came back stronger. The key is having the right mindset. Some players use the time away to work on other aspects of their game. They study tactics more carefully. They work on their upper body strength. They come back as more complete players. Others struggle with the mental side and never quite get back to their best. The difference usually comes down to attitude and support. Levi seems to have a good attitude, and he definitely has support from Chelsea and the fans. How fans can help. This brings us to an important question: what can we as Chelsea fans do to help Levi during this difficult time? The answer might surprise you. Sometimes the best thing we can do is be patient and understanding. Social media can be a cruel place when players are injured. Some fans get frustrated and start blaming the player or questioning their commitment. This doesn't help anyone. Levi didn't choose to get injured. He was working hard to be ready for the season when this happened. Instead, we can show our support. A kind message on social media. Chanting his name at games even when he's not playing. Letting him know that we haven't forgotten about him. These things matter more than you might think. When Levi does eventually return, we need to be patient with him too. He might not be at his best right away. It takes time to get back to peak performance after such a long layoff. Our support during those first few games back could make all the difference. The bigger picture. Stepping back and looking at the bigger picture, injuries like this remind us how fragile a footballer's career can be. One moment you're on top of the world, the next you're facing months on the sidelines. It makes you appreciate the players even more when they are fit and healthy. It also shows why squads need depth. Chelsea can't rely on just one or two players in each position. Injuries happen. Suspensions happen. Having quality alternatives is crucial for a successful season. For Levi personally, this could be a defining moment in his career. How he handles this setback will say a lot about his character. The best players use setbacks like this as motivation to come back even stronger. Looking ahead with hope. Yes, this injury is a setback. Yes, it's disappointing for everyone involved. But it's not the end of the story. Levi is young and has time on his side. Modern medicine and sports science are better than ever at helping players recover from ACL injuries. Think about it this way: when Levi does return, he'll be hungrier than ever. He'll have had months to think about football and what it means to him. He'll have watched every Chelsea game wishing he could be out there. That motivation will be powerful when he's finally cleared to play again. The Chelsea medical team at Cobham is among the best in the world. They've helped countless players come back from serious injuries. They'll use every tool and technique available to get Levi back to his best. Questions for the future. As we wait for Levi's return, there are questions worth thinking about. Will this injury change how he plays when he comes back? Will he be more cautious, or will it make him appreciate every moment on the pitch more? How will this experience shape him as a person and as a player? Only time will answer these questions. What we do know is that Levi has shown great character to get where he is already. Coming through Chelsea's youth system and establishing himself in the first team takes real determination. That same determination will help him through this recovery. The support system at Chelsea. One thing that gives us confidence is the support system at Chelsea. The club has learned a lot about managing long-term injuries over the years. They know that recovery isn't just about the physical side, it's about keeping players mentally strong too. Levi will work with some of the best physiotherapists and fitness coaches in football. He'll have access to the latest equipment and techniques. But perhaps most importantly, he'll be surrounded by people who believe in him and want him to succeed. The other players will play their part too. Having your teammates support you during a long injury can make a huge difference. They'll keep Levi involved in team activities and make sure he doesn't feel isolated. What we've learned. This situation teaches us several important lessons. First, football can change in an instant. We should appreciate the good times because we never know when they might be interrupted. Second, it shows the importance of depth in a squad. Chelsea will need other players to step up now that Levi is unavailable. This is an opportunity for someone else to make their mark. Third, it reminds us that players are human beings dealing with real challenges. When we see them on the pitch, it's easy to forget about the struggles they face behind the scenes. A little empathy goes a long way. Finally, it demonstrates the importance of having a strong support network. Levi isn't facing this alone, he has the backing of the club, the medical team, his teammates, and the fans. The road back. The journey back from an ACL injury is long and difficult, but it's not impossible. Many players have walked this path before and returned to have successful careers. Levi has all the tools he needs to do the same. His youth works in his favor. Younger players often recover faster and more completely from serious injuries. His determination and work ethic, which got him to Chelsea in the first place, will serve him well during rehab. The support from Chelsea and the fans will provide motivation during the tough days. And there will be tough days, moments when progress feels slow and the goal seems far away. But football has a way of rewarding persistence. The players who work hardest during their recovery often come back stronger than before. They appreciate the game more. They value every opportunity to wear the shirt. A message of hope. To Levi, if you're reading this, know that the entire Chelsea family is behind you. This injury doesn't define you, how you respond to it will. Take your time. Listen to the medical experts. Trust the process. And to fellow Chelsea fans, let's show our class during this difficult time. Let's support our player when he needs it most. Let's be patient as he works his way back to full fitness. Football will go on. Chelsea will adapt and find ways to succeed this season. But we'll all be watching and waiting for the day when Levi Colwill runs back onto that Stamford Bridge pitch. What a moment that will be. The road is long, but the destination is worth it. Get well soon, Levi. Stamford Bridge will be waiting for your return.